Video 15, the nature of the self, the nature of the enlightened being, within brackets, both are the same. Devi Kalotharam has got two sections. What is Achara Padalam, do's and don'ts. One section is about Jnanam, about wisdom, about enlightenment, and do's and don'ts. Another section is Sakshatkara Prakaranam, Anma Sakshatkara Prakaranam, which is a chapter on direct experience of the self. How do you get direct confrontation, direct experience of the self? No, confrontation is wrong because there should be two for it. You will experience yourself as the only one Brahman. And in that, in verse 1 he says, Anna Sivan Pinnum Marluvan Bhugane Nirku Anyam Suchi Arevan Meimannave Nitkalama Yavulume Nitpadai Nutpamadai Utkolla Pohadenum. He says, I will tell you the secret to knowing the truth, experiencing the truth. He says, Nitkalama Yavulume Nitpadai Nutpamadai. Without form, it pervades everything. Pervades Yavulume. Inside everything it is there. Inside human beings, animals, trees, plants, etc., etc. Everything in the universe there is, it is there, it is inside. Yet, it cannot be utkolla pohadenam. It cannot be known as an object through the mind. The way I see the bottle, I can never see Brahman. Because the seer is part of the Triputi triad. Seer, seen, and the experience of seeing. This subject of the triad is the culprit. He emanates from Brahman. We need to push him back to the source. Then that seer in triad will disappear. Seer disappearing, seeing, the process of seeing will disappear. Object seen also will disappear. This is how it happens. So, the mind is necessary, we are using the mind, but the way we understand the science, information technology or physics, chemistry, we cannot experience Brahman. We can understand theoretically what Brahman is, that it is all pervading, existence, consciousness, bliss, but we cannot acquire it as a knowledge. That is what is very, very important. But should we not use the mind? Yes, we need to use it. Sri Bhagavan has said intellectual knowledge is definitely necessary. Only then you can do vicharam with the help of that knowledge. Then, in verse 3 he says, Idu Guru Parampariyattu Pondadam, Vadigal Ellam Kana Vaikadadam, Idu Bhagamanda Mutti Puruttam, Paranda Mamuhamo Yenda Talatum Ulade. He says, this knowledge, this subject of Brahman, this is something that belongs to the tradition of Guru and Shishya. In India, it has been there for thousands of years. A student always seeks the Guru, and the Guru helps him with the necessary lessons so that he can become enlightened. And he says, those people who keep arguing that the reality is duality, the reality is non-duality, and etc., etc., he says, such people with such mentality can never know Atma, he says. And this subject, this study is all about liberation from the process of birth and death. And he says, Paranda Mamuhamo, this Brahman, Paranda Mamuhamo, he says, it is there everywhere. Brahman's face, see, this body has only, in this body has a face here, in this place. So it can see the room around, that's all. Brahman has face everywhere, throughout the universe. So in one go, he can know everything. I don't know how that experience will be yet. But he says in many places that Brahman has face everywhere. So it is simply a pointer to omniscience. Then in verse 4, Anma Sakshatkara Prakaranam, the direct experience chapter, he says, Anna Evan Yellavatrum Irkum Itevan, Evan Ellamagi Irupan, Evan Muham Engum Mulan, Yenavanan, Tatuam Ellam Tanai Tangi, Yelaminji Ulandan. This again describes the nature of Jnanam, nature of the self. Evan Yellavatrum Irkum Itevan. Who is there in everything? Who? எவன் எல்லாவற்றும் இருக்கும் எத்தேவன், எவன் எல்லாமாகி இருப்பன். All the entire universe. Who is staying as this universe? He is staying as the entire universe. He, எவன் எல்லாமாகி இருப்பன், எவன் முகம் எங்கும் உலான். Whoever has face everywhere. Again the same point comes in this verse too. Whoever has face everywhere. எவன் முகம் எங்கும் உலான், என்ன உணான். It is he about whom we cannot think. We can only become him, Brahman. In another place he said, தானாய் இருத்தலே தன்னை அறிதலாம். Knowing the self is being the self. So எவன் முகம் எங்கும் உலான், என்ன உணான். தத்துவம் எல்லாம் தானாய் தங்கி, he is responsible for the entire process of creation. It is he who is behind the creation. எல்லாம் மிஞ்சி உலர்ந்தான். Yet he remains as the what to say, in mathematics we say 5 minus 4 1, the remnant. Yeah, he stays as the remnant. He pervades everything, he makes the whole universe happen, yet he remains the remnant. He stays away, yet he pervades. This is how we should understand Brahman. Then verse 6, Devi Kalotram Anma Sakshatkara Prakaranam, the chapter on direct experience, he says, Endrum Uladai Nilayai Aviyayamai. Whatever exists forever, whatever is stable forever, whatever remains stable forever. Endrum Uladai Nilayai Aviyayamai, without any death, without any wearing off. He stays there permanently. என்றும் உலகாய் நிலைய அவ்வியமாய் எவ்விகற்பமும் இன்றியதாய். He doesn't undergo any change due to heat or cold or the seasons. No. Brahman is untouched. No change is possible at all. என்றும் உலகாய் நிலையாய் அவ்வியமாய் எவ்விகற்பமும் இன்றியதாய். தத்துவம் எல்லாம் தானா ஒன்றியுல நிற்களமா ஞானம் எதுதான் நிகழும் முதல் திட்டாந்தம் இன்றியதாய் தேர். He says, ஞானம், he happens as ஞானம். What ஞானம்? That which pervades everything. That state, if you experience, that is called ஞானம். Yeah, I am the one, only one, Brahman, who pervades everything. If you experience this, முதல் திட்டாந்தம் என்றதாய். And this ஞானம் or realization that I am Brahman, that pervades everything, that is formless, it makes everything happen, but it is itself untouched. Such a ஞானம், such a realization, he says, it doesn't depend on anything else. We already saw this, cause and effect. A tree is there, the tree is there, there must have been a cause, the seed. Universe is there. Okay, you say Brahman is the cause. What is the cause of Brahman? If you ask, there is no cause of Brahman at all. It is causeless. This is the position. This is something we will get to know experientially upon inquiry, upon making the ego subside in the source. Till then, we will have 1000 doubts and questions. தத்துவங்கள் எல்லாம், in verse 5 he says, தத்துவங்கள் எல்லாமும் தான் கடந்தோன், வாக்கோடு சித்தமும் நாமமும் சேராதான், அத்தன் அவனான் என விகற்பமற்ற சித்தத்தார் சிவசிந்தனையே நீ செய். So he says, தத்துவங்கள் எல்லாமும் தான் கடந்தோன். This Atma also, although it is said to pervade the entire universe, he says he has crossed everything. He remains at a distance. This is the universe. Atma pervades everything, yet it remains at a distance. தத்துவங்கள் எல்லாமும் தான் கடந்தோன், வாக்கோடு சித்தமும் நாமமும் சேராதான். He is not mixed with the speech. He is not mixed with the mind, the memory, thoughts. He is not associated with the name, any name and form. Anything in the universe is name and form. The bottle, the camera, man, woman, tree, stars. Everything, they are like the utensils made of one clay. Atma is clay. All these names and forms are nothing but utensils. Like how we said about gold. Gold is one. Atma is one. The entire universe and the contents of the universe, like name, form and function. When I say name, form and function, this is a bottle, name, it has a form and it has a function, it holds water. The same way everything in the universe. So, he is not mixed with the name and form. He remains untouched. Yet he is the cause of the existence of the entire universe. தத்துவங்கள் எல்லாமும் தான் கடந்தான் வாக்கோடு சித்தமும் நாமமும் சேராதான் அத்தன் அவனான் என such a Brahman am I. You need to affirm. Such a Brahman am I. He says constantly think about it that I am not just the body, I am universal consciousness, existence consciousness, bliss, in which this body is also there as a tiny dot. That's a very clear understanding, right perspective. அடையாளமற்று verse 7 says அடையாளமற்று அழிவற்று ஆறும் உபசாந்தம் விடயம் கடந்தொழிர் வேத்தியம் அடுக்காது பாவனைக்கு ஐயம் படராது அதுவே நானாவன் இதில் ஐயம் இலே. So he says அடையாளமற்று அழிவற்று ஆறும் உபசாந்தம். See, Brahman is said to be unmoving, stillness. Right. We have a body, we experience the mind. Now they are correlating this, they are connecting it. When you make the mind through practices still, this stillness is nothing but that Brahman, which is said to be still. Sidayan irkum karpol, he says, like a stone, it remains unmoving forever. So now he is working out the connection between that stillness of Brahman and the stillness of the mind. Both are the same. So when the mind becomes still, it is that state. We will experience that state of oneness. So he says, Adayalamatra alivatru arum ubasantam. That peace, that stillness, it doesn't have any form at all. Because when all the form subsides, Adayalam is any reference to any form. It is not there because mind has subsided. Only if the mind arises do we talk of forms, names and forms. When the mind itself has subsided, there is only peace, stillness. So he says, Adayalamattu alivattu, without any destruction, that peace will be there. That is why he says, when you get there is a fixed state. Once you get there, you will get fixed. Once fixed forever. It was this state Bhagavan had been staying for 54 years. Absolute stillness. No movement of mind at all. That is jnanam. That is realization. Vidayam kadindolir vedyam. It is a state which has transcended all matter. There is no thought. Thought, once it arises, it makes a connection between objects. Once you say I, Brahman is formless. The moment we say I, we are introducing form. This body am I, with the 2 legs, 2 hands, am I. Here the problem starts. After that, I am a man, I look at a woman. Duality is born. My friend is standing outside in the hot sun, I am sitting in shadow. So, heat, cold. He is taller, I am less tall. It starts, everything starts. He is richer, I am not rich. It starts. Dualities, opposites. So we need to be wary of this. So, Adayalamatru alivatru arum upasandam vidayam kadandolir vedyam adukadu bhavanaikku. You cannot imagine its presence because it's limitless. The mind can conceive of only limited objects. It is its nature. Adukadu bhavanaikku ayyam padaradu aduve naanavan. So he says, without any doubt, without entertaining any doubt, you be sure that such a Brahman you are. Such a Brahman am I. Such a Brahman everyone is. What is the conclusion Sri Bhagavan gave at his age 68? Eppodum ullada veganna vastuve. What always exists is that one Brahman only. That is what you are. Let us think about it.